First, let's start with a string. Let's print a message saying spam. To print, we have to state print. Print statement takes an expression and returns the expression as an output. And then we have to say what we are printing. Let's try. Print. Let's put double quote, for example. Spam. Double quote. And press enter. The program returns spam. Now we can print 3.14. Print 3.14. This is a floating point number. Let's print this number as a string, and let's use single quotes. So print single quote 3.14 single quote enter. Again 3.14 returned. Let's try indexing a string now. Let's print spam. Let's put open square bracket 0 for the first index, close square brackets. The program returned the first character in the string spam, which is S. We can now try slicing. Print quote spam quote open square bracket. Let's say 1 is the starting index. We put colon, and then let's say we put 3 for the ending index and close square brackets. The program returns PA. You can try the other ways of indexing to see what the program returns. Let's see our example with 3.14 as an integer and as a string. If we put print quote 3.14 quote open square bracket, let's say 2 colon square bracket, the program will return 14. However, if we put print 3.14 as a floating point number and then open square bracket again 2 colon close square bracket, the program will return an error. We can use this opportunity to learn to read error messages. So we can see the first line says trace back, most recent call last. The second line says file stdin line 1 in module. This line 1 is an indication of where the error occurred. Since we now only have one line of code, it makes sense because it is the only possible solution. Later in the course, we will write code with more lines, so this will be a more informative part of the error message. What this says is that the error occurred in this line or somewhere before it. Why somewhere before it? For example, we may have forgotten to initialize a variable. That is, we forgot to create an empty variable where we can later put some data. The message will say that the variable is not defined and say that the error occurred where we were calling the non-existent variable. Although we should have initialized the variable 1, 2, 3 or more lines before it. Let's get back to this error. The last line where it says type error is important because it says what the error is. The program is not just saying that there is an error, go fix it, but it also says what the error is. This error is type error. In our case, it says that the float object has no attribute getItem. This means that we can't grab items or parts of objects that are floating point numbers or numerical data types. It is important to learn to read error messages because they can be helpful, although sometimes scary. That is why I would recommend you make errors on purpose in a controlled environment. That way you know what error you are making and then can read what error message the program will return, just like we did now. So when you get error messages when not doing errors on purpose, you can understand what the message says and fix it quicker. In other words, you'll be debugging faster. We can try making another mistake together. Let's forget to close a quote when printing a string. So print quote spam and enter. The message says again that the error occurred in line 1. Surprise, surprise. But this time the last line says that we have a syntax error. This is already great news. And then it said EOL while scanning string literal. EOL stands for end of line. So the message basically means that the program scanned the string and came to the point where we pressed enter and didn't find a closed quote before it. This is very informative. Now we can fix it by print quote spam quote and press enter. No error. Great job. Try making errors while indexing and slicing. Try making errors with combinations of single and double quotes in strings. Just try making errors in a controlled environment. Now we can look at an escape character. For example, let's try writing a new line character in a string. So print quote sp, let's put backslash n for new line, am quote and press enter. The program returned sp in the first line and am in the second line. You can play around with the code, try out all possible combinations you can think of, and see what happens. That is the fastest way to learn to program.